And this, my friends, is what is known as a bad pillow ball bearing. See how I can move this with one hand? I can just move this. I shouldn't be able to do that. These fail all the time on airlift struts. It's a well-known problem. Airlift doesn't do anything about it because they make money off you, so they don't care. But yeah, with a 1-year warranty, and they're prone to fail within the first year. I think mine failed the first week, and I've just been rolling like that with the clunking noises and the when the temperature changes. You get that noise. Well, this is the fix. You get another bearing. Who knows how long this will last? If this doesn't last very long, or if it fails again, I'm going to go with a different company altogether for a new top hat set with a different bearing. But for now, I did the give airlift more of my money route and got the bearings. So I'll show you how I did it on the other side. I already got this side torn apart, as you can see, but I'll do a step-by-step here in just a second. Got the car jacked up, took the wheel and tire off. I got a jack ready to help support everything. So I'm just gonna get to it. These top nuts here, I believe, are 14s. I'm gonna loosen them real quick. You know what? I used an impact before. Let's just do that. Be easier. Let's see, 12, what do we got here? 14. And then our sway bar end link is a 14. Here, let's try the impact on it. Let's see if that makes a difference. Oh. Sure did. UPS is here. Ordered a new set of wheels. That's a long story. You'll probably see in the previous video. Such is life. Okay, so back to what we were doing. We just undid the end link. That was a 14 millimeter. Then we did the brake line. We then did that. That's a 12 millimeter. And then there's this 17 that goes, it's a pinch bolt that goes right here. I just removed that so that this can, I guess this is the steering knuckle or whatever, can fall away, right? So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to gently tap it with like a rubber mallet to kind of help it come loose. And then when it does, I've got the jack here positioned to support it when it does come down, so it doesn't just flop right down on your axle and everything else. So my little rubber mallet, just going to give it a tap. See how that's moving already? Super simple. Drop this down a bit so we got more room. Let's keep tapping it. Drop it down a little more on the jack. Yes, I am. We'll undo these. Little strut top mounts or whatever you want to call them. 314s. You just, I should mention too, because I'm gonna need to get an alignment, what I did was I took a yellow paint marker and just went around the bolts so I can get it fairly close to where it was, so I can, you know, give me a minute to do my alignment. One thing I did forget to do is disconnect this airline. And also another thing I should note, when I started this, I put it in pancake mode, full pancake mode, so there's no air in the strut, so it doesn't fight me trying to take the airline off. It's probably a given, but if you didn't know, now you know. That's what I did. And we'll just give her a tug until we get snug and as a bug and a rug. Give her a tug. Come on, babe. Come on, you can come through. Setting control thing, that's this little silver ring. It should pull right off after that. Boom. So we'll set that there. Next, you've got your, I just go ahead and remove this, which is your top plate. It's also good to make a note of your settings. Mine happens to be just to this side of the 0, so that's what we're going to put it back at. Next, you got to get your top nut off here, and that requires an Allen and a hollow socket in most cases. Make sure you're on lefty-loosey. And this one's probably going to be a booger. Oh, it's not too bad. Despite them putting on Loctite and a nylock bolt from the factory, this one is a lot easier than the last side was. In a pinch, if you need to, don't forget to use heat. And I'll show you where you absolutely need to use that next. But for now, we're just going to get this top nut off. We are not going to reuse this. The kit comes with one, so no worries there. So we'll set those off to the side. Now you'll have two, see the red Loctite there? You'll have two, I don't remember what they call it, spacers maybe, or shims. One on top and one on bottom. They're different sizes. So here's the top one, if I can get it out here. So sometimes it just needs a little persuasion. So there's the other piece. It's kind of corroded, as you can see. We'll spray it with a little bit of lube, I think, next time, so it'll come out easier next time. But anyway, there's your 1 and 2, your conical. Conical goes on the bottom. This one goes on the top. You can't mix them up. They're only going to fit one way. So yeah, so this bearing actually is pretty stiff. But since we're in here, we're going to replace it anyway. I suspect this is the one that was making all the noise, ironically, but yeah, that's where we are. And again, I like to be clean, so we wipe everything down before we reassemble. Now this next step, you got to get these screws out of here. And even in the instructions, they'll tell you you need some heat. Because if you don't, you're going to strip them out. They're these little Allens, and I don't remember the size. It tells you in the instructions. I think they're M5, they say, or something. Which ones are they? M3 hex key. But anyway, they're tiny, and you're just going to strip them out. I tried using a chisel and a hammer, but then I remembered, oh yeah, maybe I should read the instructions, and the instructions say, use a heat gun, or use some heat. I would recommend a heat gun rather than a torch, because I think this is a painted surface. I don't know. Either way, even if it's powder coated, I'd want to use a heat gun. And then once you do that, it's actually pretty easy to get them off. So we'll do that, and you have to get it quite warm in order for it to work. So it takes a while to cool down afterwards, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll just get some vice grips here, clamp them on pretty tight, get my Allen ready, which this is the one, yes sir. I just use a cheap one because I already broke one of my expensive ones, so yeah. And just get to heating it up. There we go. And it's still tight, even with the heat. And then I just set these little screws off to the side so we don't lose them. You can try the others. Yeah, not quite. Let's get some more heat in here. Now you'll notice this has a rounded edge and a flat edge, just like this guy does. The flat edge goes with the flat edge, and the rounded edge goes with the round edge. Now the rounded edge on the plate is oriented this way, so it actually mounts this way, in case you forget. Flat edge on this side. All right. Time to hammer out the bearing. So you would flip it upside down. This guy's red hot. And you just gotta find something that's about this size. You can hammer it out. And something that's basically right on this size to hammer it back in. So I figured that was I think a 22 on this side to hammer it back in for the new one. And I think it was a 14 to hammer it out. Doesn't matter if you damage it on the way out because you ain't gonna reuse it anyway. I think I used a 15 actually, yeah, because that kind of lines up a little bit better. And yeah, that's just what you do. And I didn't have anything to neatly set it on while I was doing the hammering, so I kind of just used my socket set here to get it off the pavement kind of thing, off the cement. So I just kind of did this, put the lip on here. And she's out. She's still hot too. Woo, woo doggy. Yeah, piece of crap. The other one was actually a lot worse. I could actually move around with my fingers. So, you know, maybe that was the main culprit. Basically, the symptoms are a clunking sound when you're going over bumps, and also like a creaking sound when you have like a temperature change. You'll notice that if you have a bad spherical bearing. So if you're watching this and you have airlift struts and you've been noticing that kind of crap and you can't find the noise where it's coming from, more than likely it's your bearings here. The job we're doing right now. It's very well documented and known, and Airlift knows about it, and I don't know why they don't do something about it, make it right, put some higher quality stuff, or maybe redesign it. I don't know. I don't know why they don't fix it. Maybe it's because they still get your money anyway, like I said, and they don't have to, and they don't care. That's kind of how I feel, but whatever. I just think they could have done a better job instead of having to spend all this money and time to correct things that are obviously not right. But that's my rant on that. But yeah, so that's what this video is for, to help you out if you don't know how to do this, and you have an Accord and you want to get your car fixed. So we got everything taken apart, we got the screws out, we applied some heat. This thing is still pretty warm, but it's just enough to where I can put it back together, I think, and not burn the hell out of myself. So that's what I'm gonna do. So that requires opening this kit. Inside the kit you get a little thing of Loctite. I'm not gonna use this one because I already got one open, and of course I didn't use all of it because I'm not a maniac. You get a new nylock for the top of the strut, and you get your new bearing. So to hammer the new bearing in, you just basically, like I said, you find something that's about the right size of the outside diameter, which in this case I used I thought it was bigger than that. Yeah, it was this. It was a 22 is what I used, and that fits perfectly around. So you're not damaging this guy, just on the casing part, and you just hammer it in. Try to keep it all even as you're going. And it'll have a distinct sound when you bottom out, you'll know. We're almost there already. We're basically there. Almost. Just a little bit more. So pretty flush all the way around. That's what we like to see. I'm breaking up my cement in my garage. I shouldn't be doing that. All right. So then once that's done, they want you to reapply Loctite, which I did do. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just not a lot like they did. You know, just a little dab will do you with this stuff. You do not need a lot. And again, the flat end goes with the flat end, as you can see. And you just, boom, start this guy off. In theory, anyway. You know, they haven't, so you might need to do this. So this is the process. Boom. Then you flip that guy over. And again, your flat side goes toward the outside of the rig. Boom, like this. Round side goes with this inside here. So then you take your little bolts, your little bolty bolts. Now remember, on this side, the guy that did my alignment, who was an awesome dude, hooked it up, but he actually had it dialed in 1 degree on the, according to this plate, toward the outside of the vehicle. So I'm going to put it right where he had it, as close as I can, so that my alignment's not too far off. So when I go drive a couple 100 miles to get my alignment, yes, I am going to do that, because it's hard to find a good alignment shop, and once you find one, you kind of want to stick with them. So yeah, I'm actually going to drive a couple 100 miles just to get it done. That's a long story. That's in my All Things Accord video. I explain that process, but there's a lot of haters out there that won't even work on your stuff if you got a bad vehicle. You gotta have a stock car, or they won't even touch it. And it's just hard to find somebody who will do what you need to have done these days. It's kind of crazy. You modify your car in any way, they just hate on you, you know? I'm sure that folks in California know all about that. Y'all can't do anything out there without the cops on you and everything else. I feel for you. Anyway, I just tighten these up again, good and tight. You might want to check them, you know, in a week or so or whatever, or after you get your alignment, make sure they're still tight. It's probably a good idea. But yeah, that's basically it, man. Just reassemble is the opposite of disassembly. Then you got your strut. Make sure to put your conical spacer on. This guy goes over that. Okay. And then this guy goes over that. Boy, it's going to give me a hard time, isn't it? Because I kind of scarred it up a little. Jeez. I'm going to give it just a little squirt of oil. Just a little bit. Gotta wipe it off. I want just a film on there. Kind of make things a little easier. There we go. See, that makes it nice. It just went right in now. You'll probably notice I'm throwing away these stupid GoPro batteries. They swell up and go bad over time. So, something to note about if you want to go GoPro. I say hell no, don't go GoPro. Anyway, so yeah, this nut's going on a lot easier than the other one. I think I had some crap in the threads on the other side. Anyway, again, it's just opposite of the process of taking it apart. So make sure it's on righty-tighty. It is. Put your little Allen key in the middle. get to work. Now there's a torque spec for this too. I'm just gonna get it good and tight and go from there. Good and tight. And like I said, you just put this guy back on, you just slide it in there. Then this little silver collar is what locks the thing on, basically. And I have mine 5 clicks in towards the hard side, so basically almost all the way soft. You can feel the detents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I have it set. And then I'm ready to throw it back in. Also make sure your little indent for your pinch bolt is toward the inside. You've got this little notch here that helps you not get it wrong. Basically this bolt goes towards the outside of the vehicle, so I always twist mine beforehand to kind of get them orientated the way I want them. In theory anyway, they're awfully tight. Oh yeah, this one's real tight. So I just kind of step on it and then, oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh yeah, baby. And oh yeah, it's like basically perfect almost. Basically perfect almost. Yes, that's a scientific measurement. And then since there's a whole bunch of gunk and rusty crap, I like to give this a little spray too. And then again, just kind of wipe it down. So it just has like a film of oil on it. So it helps slide right into place like a glove. So just get this guy in here. Kind of orientate it. See you later.